Flying at 40,000 feet with the sun beaming straight into the flight deck can make it extremely bright, even with sunglasses on. So how do pilots keep the sun out of the flight deck? Stay tuned to find out. Welcome back, aviators. I'm so happy to have you join me this week and take a moment out of your busy summers. If you're new to my channel, my name is Yaro and I take the mystery out of the aviation industry, so consider subscribing for more videos just like this. Before we get started, last week I made the announcement of my startup coffee business and introduced you to Coffee Tab, which is specialty coffee you brew in a cup. If you haven't had a chance to check out my website, I'm going to link it down in the description below, so I hope you check it out and try your first Coffee Tab. Flying an airplane above the clouds is beautiful, but it's also extremely bright, so pilots find creative ways to get some shade. So let's start with, what do airplanes actually offer pilots in terms of sun protection? In smaller aircraft like a Cessna 172, the windows are quite large and they let in a lot of light. Unfortunately, all they have are car-like sunshades that swivel up and down and to the side. This helps if the sun is high in the sky, otherwise they are quite useless. These car-like sunshades will be the norm on smaller aircraft until you get onto something bigger like a King Air. They have a rail system that spans the whole flight deck window and sun visors that are attached to this rail, and they swivel in any direction. This system is pretty good because you can position the sun visor anywhere you want and at any angle. Some airplanes have slightly different systems or larger diameter sun visors. You will find the same rail system on a Dash 8 Q400, which also has really big windows. If you get onto a Boeing 737, now you are offered 2 additional sunshades that pull out from the second and third window in addition to the sun visor. They are made out of thin plastic, either orange or blue, and they can be rolled in or out as necessary. They are then clipped onto small hooks that are mounted on the frame of the window. The sun visor on the 737 is actually removable, so you can get it out of the way when you don't need it. This is a great feature because the windows on a 737 are quite small, so the sun visor would always be in the way. It lives in a pouch on the side of the flight deck when not in use. With all sunshades deployed and the sun visors in place, the 737 flight deck can be in complete shade, which also reduces the heat and glare. But as much as manufacturers try, sometimes the sun is at such annoying angles that pilots have to come up with their own creative solutions. Being really good problem solvers, pilots over the years have created some creative and elaborate setups to keep the sun out of their eyes. On smaller airplanes, the easiest thing to use is a map. You always have a spare map lying around, and on long cross-country flights in uncontrolled airspace they can come in quite handy. Checklists are the second best thing. Made out of plastic, they are quite bendy and can be stuck in many nooks and corners where sun visors don't reach. And if you fly with an iPad with a removable screen protector, they can come in handy as well. You can also find large pop-out window shades made for cars, but they work really well on the flight deck. Their advantage is they don't take up a lot of room and are see-through, so you can still see what's going on outside. And I will link a few in the description below. Finally, as a last resort, you can even use newspaper. As much as we love looking outside, most of the time we are flying above thick clouds that reflect the sun back into our eyes, and that can be quite fatiguing after a long 12-hour day. So I hear a lot of you saying, shouldn't you be looking outside? Yes, we do, but mainly during critical phases of flight, which include the takeoff, the climb, the descent, and the landing. In cruise, there's very little going on, and air traffic control is in charge of airplane separation and maintaining radar control. We do have TCAS on board an airplane. That stands for Traffic Collision and Avoidance System, and if an airplane does get too close, it will give us oral and pictorial warnings.
Traffic. Climb. Climb. Climb.
And we would take corrective action. Otherwise, we are typically spaced quite far apart from other airplanes, and the risk of a collision in cruise is quite low. But of course, as good professional pilots, we still look outside from time to maintain good situational awareness. So I hope this video shed some light, get it? Shed some light? No? Okay. If you have other creative ways to keep the sun out of your eyes on the flight deck, let me know in the comments below. Smash like, grab yourself some coffee tab if you want to support my business, and I'll see you in the next episode.